Hey everybody, Paul Canfield with Copper Key Realty Waterfront, back to you with another of the 16,482 things make a difference when you're thinking about real estate around the Chippewa Valley. And I'm back in the car wash for the Car Wash Diaries. And you might notice that as I'm in the car wash, I'm in a car. And I came across a listing yesterday where they were including the old vehicle in the garage along with a bunch of furniture in the property. And while that sounds like an interesting thing, you know, package deal, you can get all this stuff at once. I would just throw out the thought there that that tends to be a problem. And the reason for that, the reason why it can be a problem, not always, but it can be, is that on average, most people get a loan, mortgage, when they buy a house or buy whatever real estate. And lenders, they don't want to lend when they're putting together a home loan package. They don't want to lend part of that money on things that aren't real estate, things that aren't permanent and going to stay there, like your house. Houses don't get up and move a lot, but cars do, and couches do, and TVs, and all the other personal property that is in a house. And so what can sound initially like a nice package deal, you know, if you're buying a secondary home maybe up on a lake somewhere, and it, you know, they have the old truck in the garage and maybe the boat and the whatever, that sounds good. You know, you don't have to shop around for all that stuff. But the problem that creates, at least between making an offer and closing, is with the bank underwriters. They're not going to like that stuff, and then there's going to be arguments later about taking that off of the offer, and then there'll be arguments about, well, how much value is it? Is it, you know, are we apportioning of this whole purchase price? How much is going towards the boat and the car and the couch and all those things? And then there's a bit of an old-fashioned way. Realtors, a lot of lenders would say, well, why don't you write in the offer that that personal property is being left at the convenience of the seller, that it has no value. And the problem with that, in general, is that that's fraud, because if those things truly had no value, we wouldn't be talking about them. We wouldn't have put them in the offer, because an offer says, hey, this is important enough that I want to make a contract to buy it. And if it has zero value at all, we probably wouldn't be putting that in the contract. So lenders on average stop recommending that. Realtors on average stop doing that. You shouldn't be doing those types of things. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, of course, know what your broker says, but in my opinion, when we sell real estate, us real estate agents, we should sell the real estate. So land, the house, anything permanently fixed, anything attached. Everything else is not our job. We are not car salespeople or TV salespeople or couch salespeople or any of that stuff. So I would say stop doing that. On the other hand, if you're on the buying end of things and you see a property that's listed with stuff extra, personal property that's not real estate, I would have some conversations before you make the offer, saying that perhaps we might be interested in these things after we get an accepted offer. And then you can have a separate contract which has nothing to do with the real estate offer to buy that stuff. So, and I'm speaking from experience of just having ran into these problems numerous times over the years. What in the beginning sounds like a nice package deal, in the end will turn into a mess of people arguing over values, how we should phrase things in the offer, what cost, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, agents out there, be cautious of adding things that are not real estate. Buyer agents and buyers, be cautious of adding things in that are not real estate into your offer. Now, of course, this all goes out the window if you're paying cash. You can put whatever you want on the contract. But if you're not paying cash, then it might be a little more difficult. And I'm back on the road, so I'm going to let you go. Talk to you later. See you on the next one.